You are the most magnetic version of you when you have no agenda, when you are just being, when you are okay if people like you, or if you are okay if people don't like you. Either way, you're good. There's no agenda. You're the most magnetic version of you when you do that. Isn't that interesting? That anytime you meet someone with an agenda, you can feel it. And what does it do? It repels you. It repels you because their agenda is a form of control. They want something from you. And when someone wants something from you and you can feel that there's an attachment, what do? You put up walls. So when you meet other people and you don't have an agenda, you're good either way. You're in your own frame of reality. You will be the most magnetic version of you. Now, if we talk about overgiving, there's an agenda when it comes to giving for people that overgive. If you overgive and overextend yourself for other people, I will then ease your tension. You will feel relaxed. You will see me as good. That's part of my identity. And then you stay in that pattern. And I think the thing that holds some people from, I was talking to a friend about this yesterday, somebody that said, they said that them and their dad have been a people pleaser their whole life. It's just who, this person said, this is who I am. This is who we are. They're talking about her and her dad. They're people pleasers. And every time this person said that, I'm thinking, every time you say that, you're reaffirming it, but there's such an identity around that no wonder it's hard to shake it. And part of the thing this person was dealing with is they have a boss that's super controlling and manipulative, but they stay in it. And I'm like, why don't you leave? Why don't you leave the job? And there's a whole bunch of mind things that will come up that will say, well, this is why I can't, this is why I can't, this is why I can't. And then this person says that there were 15 people that got hired at this job that have left in the last year. Really high turnover rate. But this person stays. They tolerate it. Why do they tolerate it? Well, they have found a boss and someone that they can always play the game with. That game is, can I please you? You're very hard to please. You're very controlling, but I can keep trying to get my hit. And there's 15 other people that have hired and fired that left. Why did they leave? Because that's not equal to their identity of how they see themselves. Do you see that? When I used to have a 9-to-5 job selling women's shoes, that was an interesting thing. I worked for a boss for years that was controlling, very similar dynamics that I experienced for a period of time growing up. And guess what? It was in my life. We'd all, as co-workers, complain about it, but we still tolerated it. And then this one guy came in once. I always remembered this. This guy came in. He worked in my department. I sold women's shoes at Nordstrom's. He worked there for 2 weeks. And on week 2, the manager would get away with everything of how she talked to people because she was protected by upper management. After 2 weeks, she started to try to talk to this person, this new guy, a certain way. And this guy literally looked at her and said, "Who do you think you are? You don't talk to people like that." And he quit. Shout out Roland. I remember his name was Roland. I've not seen him in, 10 years? But I always respected him. But I had a story. I get paid $40 an hour to sell shoes. If I go somewhere else, I can't do that. And the 9 other coworkers I had were also trauma bonded to that job. In a way, because it felt familiar. And maybe partially it's if I can please this person, I can continue to get by and it's equal to my identity. But then there's a moment that comes where you realize this is not equal to that way I choose to be. For me, I forgave someone from my past, and I saw that thing from my past actually led to my spiritual awakening. So in a weird way, I was grateful for it. And I then was able, as I forgave that energy, that manager got fired. She worked there for years. It was pretty crazy how that worked. So part of it is forgiveness. Part of it is learning your worth. Part of it could be to walk away. Part of it could also be to change your viewpoint of how you view this other person. There's a level to that, I'd say, because it's like then you're trying to change and control other people just by changing your image of them. But nonetheless, think about that. But anytime you say something like, I'm an overgiver, I'm an empath, I feel people's energies, I'm a people pleaser, you are an eternal spiritual being living a temporary human experience, and those aren't aspects of things when you think of love languages, acts of service. I am giving, I'm a giver, It's not to get love, it's to get validation. Now I'm whispering. Why am I whispering? Why? That's the thing with love languages. There's a toxic side of every love language. Or if you need it, it's not, love is unconditional. And like I'm saying throughout this live, you are the most magnetic version of you when you do not have an agenda. When you are not trying to get from other people, when you are good either way. When you realize that what you call love language might just be your survival language. Because if you're an overgiver and you're giving to get love, your language is not love, it's validation. You want to feel validated and safe. So the key to this is becoming aware of the pattern and beginning to do the inner work and also opening up to be vulnerable. Vulnerable will open up opportunities in your life. The fear is that if you're vulnerable, you're going to get rejected. If you're vulnerable, it's a sign of power. If you're vulnerable, it gives people the opportunity to choose you. If you're vulnerable, you are not hiding behind a mask. Because most people pleasers and overgivers are hiding behind a mask. Why am I whispering again? Why? Because I want to wake you up. Are you wearing the mask of the people pleaser or the overgiver? It's a mask. It's a mask that you wear to get the approval and validation of mom and dad. Interesting, right? You say, this is who I am. No, you are not. You are an eternal spiritual being living a temporary human experience, and you do not have to fight and please other people in order to feel love. You might feel you have to do that to get validated, but validation and love, two different things. As a kid, if you didn't feel love, you may have settled for validation. Or if love was conditional, the validation was a precursor to love. But that wasn't actual. Love is unconditional. So in what love language, what might be your secret, non-love language, but validation language? What might it be? Now here's the interesting thing. When you want validation from other people, or you want something from other people and you have an expectation that they give it to you, you actually have resistance in your energy field to them giving that to you. Because remember, anytime someone has an agenda or is trying to control, you rebel. So if you say, this person needs to validate me or choose me, and if they don't, I'm going to be angry, or if they don't, I'm going to whatever, you have an agenda. You are outsourcing something that can only be insourced. You are outsourcing happiness. You are outsourcing validation. You are outsourcing love. And really, you want to know the thing that's underneath the surface here? There's an inner child part of you that craves love and validation, but not from your Instagram following, not from your coworkers, not from your boss. It craves validation and approval from you. It wants to be seen and heard. And remember, healing happens in the presence of an empathetic witness. Simply being there with that inner child part of you that wants to be validated can be extremely powerful. I'm whispering. So do you see that maybe the external reality is simply a reflection of the internal reality, And we're just playing games with the external reality because we haven't owned the patterns on the inside and seen what this reflects back to us. So in a way, when my friend was talking about the controlling boss that she has and how her and her dad are people pleasers, it's just who they are. She's also saying, like, this is the game I play. This is the game that I tolerate. This is the game that I feel familiar with. And if I let it go, there's all these reasons why you shouldn't let it go. But guess what? You want to stay in familiar energy. Just be honest. There's a book called Awareness by Anthony DeMello. It's very blunt and to the point. It's like, let's be honest. You just want to be right. You want to be right about reality. Because when you're right about reality, you get to stay not owning your power. You get to stay in childhood dynamics. Why am I whispering? Because I want to break you out of the pattern of people-pleasing and overgiving and having an agenda. When you don't have an agenda, you are more powerful. I'm just going to be honest with you. You are more magnetic when you don't have an agenda. Okay? Let's see. Actually, we'll see. I'm going to keep the thread going. I'll answer some questions in a minute. If you have questions, you can go ahead and comment them or actually put it in the Q&A box below. But let's keep the questions on what we're talking about. What is, like, it's funny when I think of like when I was really in the most alignment with my purpose, my passion, first started on YouTube. I guess there was a subconscious agenda to grow on YouTube, to quit my 9-to-5 job, but a lot of it was just like just showing up, just being in the energy. There wasn't much agenda. And then once you start getting a following and you got pressure and you give yourself expectation, then there's like an agenda, and that becomes like restrictive. Give an example of a possible agenda. If you are a people pleaser, you have an agenda with people. You want to please them, and the belief is that if you please them or if you overgive, then you can feel good about yourself, you can feel like you're being a good person, you can feel like you take the responsibility, you're fixing them. And these are the things that are subconscious sometimes. You subconsciously want to fix someone else in your life, or you want to help someone in your life because then you can feel safe. You are controlling reality. Because at a certain time in the past, maybe you felt out of control. Maybe you felt like you'd get in trouble. And then you decided it is my responsibility to please other people. It is my responsibility to fix other people. You probably had a hard-to-please parent growing up. And that caused that energy. Now, people pleasers wear the mask of people pleasing, or overgivers wear that mask of overgiving. And I say it's a mask because if you think it's who you are, you will stay in the pattern. I'm trying to break you free by whispering. Okay? That's all. Let's be honest. You're an eternal spiritual being living a temporary human experience. And a lot of times you will search for love, what you think of as love, which is a lot of its validation on the outside. But this is why, by the way, I talk almost in every video about, or a lot of videos, I talk about Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda. Turning your eyes towards God, towards the divine. When you begin allowing the divine to flow through you and you develop a relationship with something greater than you might find that you crave less approval and validation from other people. This is going to sound harsh, but energetically, you have made other people your God. You have made other people your authority. And you have an agenda to have some needs met, but it's only because it feels empty spiritually. When you begin to feel more full spiritually with your connection to something greater than you, you will crave validation and approval less from other people. So stop making other people your God. Just being honest. Because I want to wake you up. I want to wake you up out of your patterns. How do I find out what I need to give myself? A lot of times what you want to give what you give to everybody else if you're an overgiver is what you subconsciously want to give yourself. So if you're telling people what they want to hear, or if you're giving a lot of acts of service for other people, or you're overextending yourself, where are you also avoiding other things in your life? Because many times, if you think about the people, okay, well, interesting. If you are a people pleaser or an overgiver, you most likely also are embodying the energy of a rescuer in the rescuer, victim, perpetrator dynamic. Where are you avoiding your own stuff? Where are you getting, you see in the past, if you felt like a victim, it feels much more empowering to be as a mode of control. Instead of being the victim, I'm not the victim, I'm the rescuer. I'm going to fix other people. I'm going to please other people. I'm going to give to other people. And if I give to other people, then I can feel love. But it's not love. It's validation. My love language is giving. No, it's not. That's your validation language. That's your validation language. Be honest. Love is unconditional with no agenda. Love is unconditional with no agenda. I just want to wake you up. Yeah, the drama triangle, exactly. This is who I am. I am the rescuer. I come to save the day. I will fix you. I will save the day. There's like the marketing. It's like, I will teach you to be rich. This is some guys like, some internet marketer guys, like phrase. I will fix you and please you. Imagine it says that in your Instagram bio. I will fix you and please you. I am also insinuating you are broken and need fixing. I am also insinuating it is my job and responsibility to fix you because you're so freaking broken. And I can then feel good about myself. And I want to feel love, but it's not love, it's validation that I'm really craving. Let's be honest. I'm just trying to wake you up. Okay? Okay? Let's see. Let's keep the questions about what we're talking about. Some good questions in here, but do I have an agenda? I kind of do have an agenda. Maybe I should let the agenda go. My agenda is I'm also filming a video for YouTube right now. That's my agenda. Should I just answer questions that have nothing to do with what I'm talking about? Because I have to let go of my agenda. I have to preach what I'm talking about. Let's see. My insight recently too is I've been wanting to like find more momentum and flow with creating content, and I realized that times I had most momentum when I was daily on YouTube, and I stopped going daily on YouTube. I went live yesterday on Instagram. Now I'm live again on Instagram. I'm like, what if I went live every day on Instagram and then just filmed it? That'd be a lot more videos I put out. I have to make sure it's authentic, but I do love being live with all of you. So it's a weird thing because I also feel like my purpose is doing the live events, but I can do both. I'm just trying to wake you up. Kind of mystical, isn't it? Oh, the voice changes. You're like, who am I? Where am I? Okay, anyways. Where am I at? Okay. Well, I'm looking for a question also, in case you guys didn't know. Starting on August 18th, there is a 3-day virtual live event that is free if you want to learn how to go full-time with your purpose. And it's where hot seat coaching, breath work, meditation, and the key of it is to help you remove the blocks to going full-time with your purpose. So if you are an aspiring content creator or an aspiring coach, or you are already a coach or content creator, meditation teacher, etc., and you want to learn how to grow an online following and get clients, go full-time, it's free. You just respond and comment FTP, because it stands for full-time purpose, FTP. And I'll send you the invite, and I'm going to be bringing on people that are already full-time with their purpose so they can show you how they did it, and then something will unlock in your mind where you'll realize if they can do it, I can do it too. Why not me? Cool. Anyways, let me answer some questions now. That was an agenda, but it was to add value, so. Let's see. What keeps us in a cycle of victim, rescuer, perpetrator? So this is called the drama triangle. And a lot of times if you grew up and there were unprocessed emotion and energy from childhood, we will keep playing out these patterns with people in our life. So you'll notice that people that had a perpetrator parent growing up, someone that was controlling or manipulative or something, they will many times, the story is, they do this to me. So you might find that in life as an adult, you have someone that's the perpetrator. You have someone that's the rescuer. You might then become the rescuer, trying to save people. People pleasers. Overgivers. And you might subconsciously be addicted to drama. So one thing that keeps you addicted to it is you think that it's codependency, but it's thinking codependency is love. Codependency is not love because remember, it has an agenda. The agenda is, if I fix you, then I can feel worthy, whole, and complete. As a victim, if I stay in this mode, then other people, I don't have to claim my full power. Other people see me a certain way and maybe will try to fix me. You get people that give you attention. So there's these subconscious energies there. So what keeps you in it is the lack of awareness that you're in it, and instead looking at the patterns. Are you playing out these dynamics with other people and beginning to nurture the inner child part of you that feels the victim or feels the parentified? I think a lot of times parentified kids become the rescuers. If a parent wasn't able to meet your needs as a kid, you might feel that your job is to fix them or to hold space for them. And that might be the victim part of it, but that feels unfair. This sometimes happens where a parent growing up makes one of their kids their surrogate partner. Have you guys ever heard of this? I've seen this before. It's pretty crazy. So let's say a mom and a dad are together. Let's say the dad is an alcoholic and the mom is not getting her needs met by the dad. The mom may then treat her son like the surrogate partner and unload all the problems onto the son because this one wasn't able to meet the needs. Puts a lot of pressure on the son. Yeah, enmeshment. But then that son learns and has to be the dad, has in a way to be a partner to the mom, which is super imbalanced. May then learn, I'm the fixer. I hold space. I need to give to be a good boy. It's a very interesting thing. But it literally becomes a part of the identity. So part of the way out of that is becoming aware of it. It's soothing, hearing, and seeing the inner part of you that probably, and also owning some of the emotions. How would you feel? There might be some anger underneath that. Because remember, a lot of times, people pleasers and overgivers, they're wearing the mask of overgiving or people pleasing, but really underneath that might be repressed anger. How do you really feel? Does that make sense? So what keeps you in that is the agenda. The agenda is what keeps you in victim, rescuer, perpetrator dynamics. It's because you didn't feel safe with no agenda as a kid. So what if you gave no agenda? What if you gave no agenda to the inner child part of you and you let them just be? So you could reparent your inner child if you felt like mom or dad didn't do that growing up. Interesting, right? There is a momentum to going. I've gone live 2 days in a row and I can feel a momentum to like the thoughts and ideas, the insights that I'm having through consistency. And I just feel better. I like going live. I like going live with you all. How do I stop attracting toxic people? Well, what is the payoff you get from toxic people? What is it? Do you get to be right about reality? Do you get to stay in victim, rescuer, perpetrator dynamics? Does it feel familiar? Do you tolerate it? Like my friend that I was talking to who was telling me that she's tolerating a boss that like is super, super toxic when there's 15 other people that went in 15 other people went into this job and have quit. High turnover rate. She's been there for a long time. She's tolerating it. Let's be honest. I told her this. Like, you are tolerating it. That's okay. You can keep tolerating it if you want. I had no agenda with talking to her about it. And back in the day, I would have. Don't you see that you're tolerating this energy and you could step into your power? You want to know what I did? I didn't replay that dynamic with her. I said, okay, well, how much longer you want to keep doing that? And she started to come to her own conclusions. She's like, well, in a month, I'm going to try this. Oh, good. Good for you. You're taking your own power back. I don't need to rescue you. We end up doing this with other people. You ever do that with a friend that's like going through something? You're like secretly trying to rescue them. If I rescue them, I can feel good about myself. So how do you stop attracting toxic people? It's such an interesting question because it's like, how do you stop? What energy have you not claimed within yourself that's attracting the toxic people? Because that is also, the question itself is assuming that toxic people come into your life and it has nothing to do with you. There's a familiar pattern and energy there. And I'm whispering again. These lives are going to turn into like a mixture of ASMR, weird things that I do to break you out of your patterns, and then insights and coaching. So to stop attracting toxic people, you have to be aware of what is the common denominator. Is it all the toxic people or is it you? Hard to look at, but there's something that feels familiar about it. And why are you attracting these people? What is the breakthrough for you? Is it to say no to that energy? Is it to let go of engaging with it? What is it? That's what you can ask yourself. When people say, why does this pattern keep coming on in my life? All you got to ask yourself is, what is the lesson or the insight around this pattern that it's trying to teach me, that it's trying to propel me to learn? Then you have something you can start doing self-inquiry around. And if you're attracting toxic people, maybe the lesson is to not engage with it. Maybe it's to stand up for yourself. Maybe it's to not be as reactive, but to choose consciously how you respond. Yeah, what lesson do you need to learn exactly? Does that make sense? Someone says, how do I make high-value friends if everything I do is online and not so much in person? Also, I live in a town with narrow mind habits and I can't move now. Okay, here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you. We tell ourselves stories. We tell ourselves stories and we say, I live in a town where no one else is like me. Now, even if you live in a small town, you might say, Aaron, it's true. There's like 12 people that live in my town. Okay, well then maybe. But a lot of times, we get a reality that is reflective of our beliefs. What if you had the belief that even though there's not many people in your town, what if you had the belief that you will meet the right people in the right time and you just let go of the agenda? Because once again, there's an agenda. You can be honest with it. You have an intention to connect to other people. However, where are your beliefs blocking things from coming into your life? And what do you define as a high-value friend? How to make high-value friends if you are insinuating that there are high-value friends and low-value friends, there's also mixed energy being thrown into your field. I am judging high-value friends, which are way better than low-value friends. I'm just trying to wake you up. High-value friends are very high value and high vibe. Low-value friends are frickin'. I understand what you mean, by the way, but all I'm saying is be aware of what you're putting in your field. I learned that when I went through my awakening, I felt like there's not a lot of people like me. I felt like I didn't resonate with a lot of people that I used to resonate with because I was so into spirituality. But that belief, that judgment was blocking people from coming into my life. And you say everything you do is online and not so much in person. A lot of the very beautiful connections I have in my life, I met through people online. I don't even do that much stuff. I mean, I do live in-person events. I'm not out at parties meeting people. I mean, I go to the club like 3 times a week, bottle service. But I'm not like talking to everybody. I'm just kidding. I don't go to the club at all. I grew up in Vegas, so that got old real quick. I think when I was growing up in Vegas, I went out, isn't that crazy? I went out like 3 or 4 times. It is not my vibe to go out, and I went out for a couple people's birthday parties. I mean, I probably went out to clubs like 5 times when I lived in Vegas, and I was born and raised there and I didn't move away until I was 28. Why? Because that wasn't my vibe. But so basically, the question itself is, how do I make high value friends if everything I do is online? Maybe being online, you can still meet people. Some of my best friends I met. I met my buddy Victor online, my best friend. And we met online. We met through online. We got on a phone call. He ended up moving. He came to Vegas. He moved from Michigan to San Diego. He came to Vegas. We did a YouTube video together. We went to a little seminar together for like a couple hours. He ended up moving to Vegas. And then from Vegas, moved to Austin. He ended up moving to Austin. Not just because of me, although I did probably have a part in it, if I'm being honest. But what if you just have this magnetic pull and people come to you? I'm just saying. You can meet them online, you never know. Maybe then you get inspired to leave your town that you live in. I'm just saying. So maybe it's not a problem that you meet people online. Maybe the high value friends, low value friends thing is blocking people from coming into your life. I had to drop believing I was alone and people didn't understand me. And then I opened up like a whole new world. Want to know something embarrassing? You guys want a vulnerable share? When it comes to songs, like I love music, but when it comes to songs, I don't know a lot of lyrics to music, to certain music songs and stuff, even though like I listen to a lot of 90s music. But my vulnerable share is that sometimes I only know the titles. Like the only lyrics I know in certain songs are just the titles. So like the song, like A Whole New World, like I know that. And then what is the rest of it? It's the Disney, it's the Disney Aladdin song. But sometimes there's certain songs where all I know, I'll just like sing it, I just say the title and I'm like silent. It's embarrassing. But it's vulnerable. Do you feel more connected to me now? But what was that an agenda? Did I have an agenda of just being real? So anyways, having no agenda is magnetic. Let's see. Someone says, how do I stop being the chaser? Well, do you need a chaser? If you are drinking something and you think you need a chaser, what if you just embraced it? Think about that. If you drink it and there's some harshness and you're like, oh, I need a lime or I need a chaser, do you really need it? Huh? I'm just being honest. Or are you using that because you believe that you can't handle the pain? Okay? Now I know what you mean by the question. I'm just being sarcastic. Or am I? So when you're being the chaser, what are you chasing? What do you believe the thing you're chasing is going to give you? You have an agenda if you're chasing. You're chasing because you believe there's something outside of you. And when you chase, what happens? If you were to chase a dog, what does that dog do? The dog runs because it's responding to your energy. When you chase people, like if you were to walk down the street right now and just start running after someone, they might start running away from you because you're chasing them. And they're like, what's this guy want from me? What's this person want from me? So why are you running? Why are you chasing? That's the question to ask yourself. What do you believe they have? And can you give whatever that is to the inner child part of you? What are you trying to get the other person to believe? I have a YouTube video with over 1 million views from a recent live event that I did. It was in Miami, and there was a woman, and the title of the video is how to watch her, it was something like watch her stop chasing to being chased in 30 minutes. And she had a big transformation on stage. And you watch her in real time, let go of chasing, and a lot of letting go of chasing was trying to stop proving to other people she was worthy, stop overgiving to get validation and approval, stop being nice, stop being a people pleaser. and you watch her question that and stop attaching to what other people think, and you watch her own energy and begin to embrace the bad girl energy, which is more authentic. So what energy can you begin to let go of, and what energy can you begin to embody that you're afraid to embody? That video is on YouTube. Do you see? Someone says, don't chase, attract instead, and choose people who choose you. Yeah. But attract, even to attract, it's interesting. Don't chase, attract. What if it's like, don't trace, just be? Question why you want even to attract, and then focus on the divine and God to flow through, and the things will naturally come to you, but you're not trying to attract it. So anyways, those are some of the insights. So let me see if there's one other question. Let's see. Someone says, what happens when your family start emotional manipulation and victim when you stop people pleasing? When you stop people pleasing and you stop trying to please other people, the people that you've always been pleasing are not going to be pleased. Think about that. So they might not be happy. It might be a form of test for you to hold your frame. And if they start using emotional manipulation and you're aware they're using emotional manipulation, you can choose whether it affects you or not. You can choose whether you buy into it. They're like, why didn't you do this? You don't have to answer. You don't have to give them ammo. You can see the patterns. You can let them, the key for people pleasers or empaths or overgivers is to like let people be with their energy and not try to take responsibility for it. So when you stop people pleasing, accept that some people may not like the new you. And you have to accept that there'll be a period of time where you are really feeling into it, and you have to accept that some people might not be happy, and that's okay. Your lesson is to let them be with that energy. Do you see that? Like, that's actually your medicine. Let them be in their energy and let yourself not adhere to whatever it is they want you to do. That's the medicine. And then when you can let them be in that energy, you won't be manipulated, and you'll pass the test. And then you're in a new frame of reality. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So anyways, who's had fun on this live? Who's had fun? What if I went live every day? What if I went live like 4 times a week? Would that be crazy? Would that be insane? Would there be an agenda? So anyways, the stuff that's going on, the London live event is happening September 26th, 27th, 28th. If you respond London, you'll get the DM, or if you see the link in my bio or the description or whatever. I kind of wanted to do a live event before I go to Europe. I really want to do a live event, but it's just to plan it and everything, and I got the FTP thing coming up. I don't know. I'm really trying to find ways of creating content, because I like creating content where there's people like you on the other end, and I want to just do more. I want to do more live hot seat coaching. I want to do more, but it's like making it easy to do where I just show up. It's like there are a lot of things that go into place, like with venues, and so I'm trying to figure that out, because originally it was like I run a live event here in like a week or 2 from now, and just like I did like a couple weeks ago, but I don't know how I'm gonna do. I don't know. I might be able to do that. It's a lot on my team to like plan that out and stuff, and we have this other stuff coming up, so I'm gonna see. Do you have any ideas for how I can create content with all of you and film it? Let me know. You can comment. Anyways, thank you all for being here. And I will talk to you soon. Why am I whispering? Because I'm just trying to wake you up. That's why. Anyways, I'm going to post this Live. FTP stands for full-time purpose. You'll see the link in my bio, or you can just respond FTP. Actually, because you put FTP, you're already DM'd. Just automatically happens. Anyways, thank you guys for being here. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace, much love, and namaste. You want to check out one of the most popular videos on my YouTube channel that I mentioned in this live on how to stop chasing and how to actually be chased. You can see this woman's transformation. It can be very inspiring. You can watch it right here. Check this video out and comment on the video which city you live in so I can see which cities I should go to run a live event.